Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. I'm Sean Schoenmakers, the owner of Action Coach Dallas, where we are helping business owners build and grow their businesses, ultimately to improve their lives. Today, we have John Rosilier on with us. He's the owner of InnoSub Space USA, and he's going to tell us all the interesting details about that company and also some of the stories about how he's come about the business and how they operate and cool stuff like that. Uh, John, how you doing this morning?
Doing well. Doing well. How are you, Sean?
Doing well. Awesome stuff. We're glad to have you on. So if you could maybe without further ado, oh, I forgot to mention it. If you're in the audience and you're viewing for the first time, make sure that you like, subscribe, and make sure you get notifications so that when we drop more of these useful conversations in, you can see them, you're aware they exist, and you can watch them to get the value out of them. So without further ado, John, could you tell us, maybe give us an introduction to your company and tell us the problems that you solve?
Yeah. Thanks, Sean. The name of our company is InnoSub USA, like you said at the beginning. And we're a sublimation company. So we're B2B. So we sell to small businesses primarily in terms of the sublimation blanks. And so a lot of folks don't know what that is, but those that do know it very, very well. Essentially, it's things like phone cases, linen bags, a lot of promotional items that you can essentially print anything on them. So we do get a lot of business from schools, as an example, that want promotional items like tumblers or charging pads or things like that. So we're based out here in Dallas and Plano, in the Flex Etc. location. And I've owned this company for a whopping 3 months now. So a big change for the family. It's family owned. And We do have a second company that I'm sure we'll get into as well. But InnoSub USA is B2B, sells just about everything you can imagine that is tied to promotional items. And you can print anything on there from baby pictures to cool designs to whatever it is that your heart desires or what your business needs.
Yeah, I like it. And thank you for correcting my statement of the name of your company, InnoSub USA, not InnoSub Space. So
Oh, no,
apologies for that.
you're good.
Yeah. And then maybe just mention real quick. I know you talked about it, we've talked about it before, the sister company or the secondary company.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Sean. Our other company is called Abbey Rose, and it is a custom cell phone case company that also sells not only phone cases but other things that it charms, magnetic things that actually attach to the phone cases. But essentially, it's B2C. So it's selling
Mm,
directly to customers
mm,
online,
yep.
and they're able to customize phone cases. And what we found was there is a huge demand for accessorizing cell phones. And
Mm,
so my daughter started that 6 years ago in our garage in San Antonio. And
hmm.
fast forward today, the whole family works for Abbey Rose, as well as now InnoSub, which is the brother, if you will, of the company that was started 6 years ago.
Yeah, cool. So you guys are fanning the flame on family-owned business.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah. Well, maybe tell us to get into more detail about the company InnoSub. Maybe tell us how or why. Obviously, it didn't sound like you started it, but how or why did you come across this company? How come you decided, hey, let's get this company?
Yeah, so great question. So my daughter Abby Rose, the company that I mentioned earlier, the one that she started in our garage, her supplier, the wholesale supplier, was InnoSub, which was located in Los Angeles, and so she's been purchasing products from InnoSub for the past 6 years. And the owner, who actually started the company back in 2012 in Los Angeles, he reached out to us about 4 months ago and said, "Hey guys, I'm going back home to Israel. Would you
Mhm.
like to buy my company? Because I'm selling it and somebody's going to buy it, and I would love for you guys to buy it.
Yeah.
We've had a very strong relationship with him, very long-standing relationship, and gosh, we saw the opportunity. I'm a former chief financial officer, so I dug into the numbers and I thought, wow, this actually is a great opportunity. We can expand our footprint beyond the B2C to also incorporate B2B and leverage the opportunities between the two companies. But that's how it got started. And my son and I stayed up 30 hours straight packing everything in Los Angeles. And 2 days later, unpacked everything, did an all nighter to move it here to Dallas. And we haven't looked back.
All right. Sounds exciting. And so, who primarily, I mean, we have a flavor because you just talked about your daughter's company, but who primarily does your business serve? So if I'm in the audience, how do I know if I'm a good fit for your products and services?
So one of the areas that is a growing area of demand I'm sure a lot of people have heard starting my side gig. So there are a lot of folks out there who are sort of tipping their toe into the entrepreneurial space while holding on to their 9 to 5. So one of those opportunities, great opportunities, is in the space of promotional items. And so that is one of the big areas of demand. And strategically, we see it growing significantly over time, meaning um, people and their interest in starting their own business is continuing to grow, particularly with the younger generation. One of the things it's not frustrating. It's actually quite a compliment. But when we look at Abbey Rose, the company that my daughter started, there are a lot of other companies out there that we've discovered that are copying Abbey Rose because she is successful at what she does. So there's this growing interest and demand to venture out and do your own thing. And the sublimation space allows you to do that from clothing to cell phone cases to just about anything that you can think of that you can print on. There is a demand and an interest out there.
Yeah. Okay. So people that are looking to start their company and or they have a need or interest in promotional products to get their logos out into the world or stay in front of customers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Those are the kinds. Yep. All right.
that's
Awesome. And so what would you say makes your business unique? So why do your customers choose you?
So very good question. Because if you boil it down, we're in the business of selling things that you can print on. So it's very much a commodity. So one of the things that my son, who is my business partner, and I've talked about a lot is how do we set ourselves apart from the rest of the businesses out there doing the same thing? And it really is boiled down to two things. Number one is service. So you've got to always be there for the customer. When things don't go well, how do you help them? How do you fulfill their needs as quickly as possible in a caring manner? There are a lot of companies out there. You can push a button and the box shows up at your doorstep, but you're just a number. We go beyond that. We know the names of our customers. We write thank you, handwritten thank yous to every order we get, and we answer calls and answer questions. So we try to stay on top of the technology and the innovation that's going on in this space so that we can answer questions when people step into it, or if they've been in that space but are new to some innovative products that are coming. So that the customer service is paramount. The second thing, and I kind of touched on a little bit, is we're very innovative as a company. And when I say as a company, I mean both companies. And what I mean by that is, as an example, Abbey Rose, and this was actually my son's invention, that pulled from this concept of jewelry organizers. Since cell phone cases are very quickly becoming an accessory of one's fashion, we thought, why wouldn't you have a cell phone case organizer? And a lot of people, when they first hear it, they kind of give you the sort of the tilt of the head and go, what? What is? But when you show them, and that's something that we've already designed it, we have a patent on it, and we have an opportunity with a national chain. I can't really go into a lot of detail that is interested in carrying it. So we're in the throes of figuring out how to scale that in a massive way here in Dallas, partnering with other businesses. So very innovative in that respect. We've got other things that, as an example, there are cases that have magnets in them. Well, those magnets allow you to put just about anything on them. And one of the popular things is essentially it looks like a credit card holder. So you put this thing
Yeah.
and it has a design on it that mimics or matches the design of your cell phone case. And you can hold credit cards in there. You can hold your ID, whatever it is that you want to hold in there, you can put in there. So that did not exist about a year ago, and it was because of us trying to find new ways to enter into the market to fulfill needs that people that we learn about,
Yeah.
but then also fulfill needs that hopefully people aren't thinking about yet. That they go, oh wow, I love that. So that was a
Yeah.
long-winded answer, but there's a lot going on in those two areas.
Yeah, cool. So customer service, being human when people need humans, and also being innovative in how you guys, the products you're offering and things of that sort. So
That's
good
exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, so when we talk about why customers choose you, I'm also curious how they find you. So marketing is an area that a lot of businesses are challenged in, or they might be sometimes frustrated with it, things like that. What's been the number one marketing strategy that has brought you guys the most business? I know it's been a short period of time, but
Yeah, that's a fantastic question actually, because I think that's an area where a lot of small businesses struggle with, and the reason for that is number one, how do you do it at the most effective way possible, and how in the heck do you afford it? It's very
Mhm.
expensive. Whether you're talking about radio or television or whatever the medium may be, it's very, very expensive. There's a lot of science behind it. So one of the areas that actually was some part of what kick-started our other company, Abbey Rose, was during COVID. TikTok took off, and that became incredibly viral. And so we continue to leverage social media as a platform for our marketing. Number one, it's low barrier to entry. You can get on there, you can create a lot of content. Now, it does require that you be creative and create that content. And luckily, I have a couple of kiddos who are well versed in that space, and they do a very, very good job. And that's one of the reasons why Abbey Rose has been so successful. And because of that, we're now pushing that type of content and marketing strategy in InnoSub
Mhm.
to build up that community as well as build up the awareness, particularly as it relates to people looking to step into the entrepreneurial space, but really leveraging social media. We have other software platforms that we utilize, whether it's email campaigns, things of that nature
Yeah.
that augment that. But
Hmm.
really being a face out there, we do live. They call them lives. So TikTok, you can get on there and you have a live type event. And my daughter will just make cases, and it creates a lot of interest, and it pulls people from all over the place. I mean, my daughter's got almost 400,000 followers on TikTok alone. So that
That's
Yeah, it gives you an idea, and 100,000 on Instagram. So the numbers can be quite large very quickly. But the thing that you find out is a lot of people in this space know this better than I do, is can become stale very quickly. So you
Mhm.
have to stay on top of your game. You have to think of different content, and you have to kind of recycle the content. So there's a
Yeah.
strategy behind it, but uh, short answer: social media is king for us. And because we have looked into other strategies like Google marketing, Amazon marketing, I mean, it is incredibly expensive. You could spend $10,000 a month very, very, very easily. Uh,
Mhm.
we try to avoid that. Uh,
Mhm.
we just haven't seen the returns like we have
Yeah.
with social media.
Yeah, and that's the deal, right? It's in theory, marketing's free, assuming it gets you a return, right? So whatever the amount that goes in, obviously you're hoping, or hopefully you're seeing that it's getting you better dollars back in. But if it's not, then yeah, it definitely can be expensive, like you said. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, social media, cool. I know a lot of people are challenged on that front as well. They're trying, and it's just there's so many different ways to do it that to get good at it is a challenge, just like most strategies in
Yeah.
marketing. So. But as you look back on the journey, I know again it's been a little shorter here with the newer company InnoSub, but what's been the most memorable or maybe the hardest challenge that you guys have had, and how'd you overcome it?
Yeah, I would say that the hardest challenge, particularly within OSUB, number one, it's just getting your arms around the company. We just bought it. It's a familiar space to us, but it is also new. B2C is very different B2B. The content's different. The engagement with your customers is different. The packaging is different.
Mhm.
So it's very quickly mobilizing around, okay, we have a new company. Here's its focus. How do we run this company as efficiently as possible? Um, and I think that's probably been one of the biggest challenges. And the other thing, we do have employees, so it's family owned business. So obviously we have members that are employees of the company. We also have folks in the Philippines who help us with web design, web content, website management, and they are fantastic. And it gives us opportunity to I don't want to say 24/7, maybe it's 24/6, but
Yeah, yeah.
we hand off the baton to them, we give them direction. But stepping back, the thing that is, I wouldn't say it was somewhat of a challenge, is really okay. Now you have this new company, and it dovetails well with an existing company that we own. What is our strategy? How do we execute against that strategy? What does it look like? Why is it important to the employees?
Mhm.
Articulating that in a clear manner was critical because they very quickly were wondering, okay, new owners, what are we doing? And how do we get there? So it's laying out that vision in a way that people can really grasp and hold on to and get excited about. Because with a small business, it's you folks need to understand and be excited about what we do and where we're going. And that can be a challenge because everyone's different.
Mhm.
Everyone has their desires and motivations and concerns, and understanding those and figuring out how to mobilize the team is particularly when it's a smaller team. You know, when you have hundreds of people in your company and there's you get this momentum and it continues.
Mhm.
You have to feed the momentum, but
Yeah.
easier to persist. Have a smaller team and with a small company, people can get distracted very easily. So
Mhm.
it's critical for myself, and my son helps me with this because his mind is wired so well in the strategy side of things. is just articulating the excitement of what we're doing and where we're going and how do we get there. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's probably one of the biggest things that I saw very quickly. Not no way was it an insurmountable. It was an exciting challenge uh,
Yeah.
because I see a lot of opportunity within OSUB.
Yeah.
Now moved it here to Dallas. I mean, just here in Dallas alone, it is just incredible opportunity just in this metro area in DFW.
Yeah.
Uh, how do we then grow that beyond? We're already nationwide, but how do we push that enthusiasm, that strategy, so that our customers are also excited about it? So it's
Yeah.
everything: web design changes to product offering to content on social media. It's all of it.
Yeah. How do you being the leader now of the new company, deciding the direction, mobilizing the team, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So a little multifaceted.
Oh, definitely.
What about, so talking about team, what's been some of the bigger learnings you've had, or maybe the biggest learning you've had as an employer?
I think probably the biggest learning really is it's funny. I had a colleague that I used to work. In fact, I sat next to him. We were working with a consulting firm here in Dallas, and when I was sharing with him that my family has a family business and we're looking to actually expand that, he goes, "Oh gosh, I don't know how you do that." Uh, I was like, what are you talking about? What's your? He goes, that is one of the most difficult things to do is to run a successful family business. And he was right. And the reason for that is, when you work for an employer and you have colleagues, you work with other people, they may report to you, they may not, or you may report to someone. Everyone, they come with this objective: I got a job to do, very professional. When you have family that comes together, there are other aspects of relationships that kind of bleed into that dynamic, and some of it's very healthy, and some of it is very challenging.
Yeah.
Uh, when if my daughter's having a bad day, we every single day we have a check-in meeting just to see how is everyone doing. What did everyone do yesterday? What is the plan for today? Here are the big things we need to be planning for, things like that. Well, sometimes people have bad days, and with a family business, there's I guess I could describe it as there's more permission to talk about stuff like that than you otherwise would have in sort of a big company, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a blending of me being um, CEO, the dad, and then CEO brass tacks. We got to make some decisions and move on. And hopefully, I didn't hurt anyone's feelings, but we got to.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Yeah.
probably from my perspective, Sean, that's probably been
Yeah.
the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
It's just making sure we're all healthy, we're all staying positive,
Yeah.
and we're because everyone has their days.
Yeah, we always talk about with the family businesses, we always talk about structure being sort of essential. If you don't have the structure, the ability to say, hey, yes, we have a relationship outside of work, but we're at work, which that's a structured place. And by the way, my roles and responsibilities or whatever those things are, hey, look, I'm clear on what those are. I'm clear on the numbers I'm supposed to achieve. You're clear on it. So there's with better structure, there's usually that ability to do a little separation versus calling dad and mom and son and daughter kind of scenario versus John and so forth. So anyways, usually helps to have a little more structure when you
Yeah.
have the family business going. So yes, and that's a challenge you guys will continue to enjoy. So good on you. Um, what about if you started over the company? And again, I know it's short term from the new one, but if you were to start over today, not too far long ago that you started it, but what would you do different?
Okay, so with InnoSub, well, with just about any business, particularly small business, inventory management is critical. Particularly if you're ordering from suppliers that are overseas,
Hmm.
the lead time can be 4 to 6 weeks.
Hmm.
So when you have someone knocking on your door saying,
Hmm.
"I want to buy $5,000 worth of products," boy, if you don't have the $5,000 worth of products, you're not going to make the sale. Inventory management is so critical. And having been in sort of the corporate finance accounting space for a very well, almost 30 years, um, you're somewhat removed from the nuts and bolts of how a business
Yes.
runs. Now I'm at the front line, and
Hmm.
that I don't think I had is just to be completely honest a as clear of a view of its importance. I knew it was important, but just managing that, managing it from a culture standpoint. You're dealing with different countries with different cultures. You're
Hmm.
different. Um, just there are just some interesting dynamics that I did not know about
Yeah.
until I was up to my eyes in it and learning very quickly. So I think inventory management, and it sounds like something that's like, well, yeah, of course you need to manage your inventory, but there are nuances associated with that I've discovered that are super important. And if you miss them, it could be costly.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's probably a
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah, inventory. I know a lot of businesses don't have inventory, but obviously a lot do. And it's definitely one of the, four critical pieces to cash flow. So, great. You got to have the inventory on hand. So that's cash, right? That goes out the door. And if you don't have the inventory on hand, then you don't collect, make the sale, which reduces cash flow, right? So there's all this cash flow dynamics that go along with the inventory. So when you do have inventory like you guys, it's a critical piece. And again, a lot of businesses they don't even have to deal with it. So
Yeah.
it's not, I don't think like you said, you don't maybe appreciate that or see it to the detail until you have to, like you're doing. So but yeah, a lot of things go into that. So what about what's the next big goal or milestone for you? So you're again few months in terms of the new company. What's the goal or milestone? What are you guys kind of looking at in terms of your next thing or your next big thing?
So we have a few things that are in the pipeline. We're actually, in fact, I just shipped something off to a distributor that does very well across the nation, across the country with regard to promotional items. So they reached out to us to see if we would like to partner with them. So it's finding those types of opportunities where you have businesses that are at a larger scale that would be a good fit for us, and we would be a good fit for them, and to scale and grow the business. Growth is key. If you're not growing, well, we all know the story to that. It
It,
eventually,
yeah. I say you're
not,
dying.
yeah, not so
Yeah.
great things will start to happen.
Yeah.
So growth is paramount. And finding other avenues of growth. We've had a couple of big deals with schools in preparing promotional items for them. So finding other municipalities and schools, government type schools, institutions, just to fulfill their needs, as well as companies. There are companies that have been reaching out to say, hey, I'd love to have 5,000 tumblers or wireless chargers with our logo on it. Can you guys do that? Absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so it's finding those types of opportunities and working closely with other businesses just to see, are we a good fit? How can we help you, and how can you help us? And so really that's probably our biggest focus, and continuing to be innovative. The things
Mm.
that we learn with Abby Rose have already helped InnoSub, and the things that we see on the forefront with InnoSub is helping Abby Rose. So that's another focus area for us, is continuing to learn
Yeah.
uh, about how the two companies can augment one another beyond just, okay, the family owns both of them. All right, well, what
Yes.
to do with it
Yeah.
uh, and grow and scale.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, one of the benefits of having multiple businesses is you can leverage the learning. Hey, we learned this at this company, let's implement it into that company. It sounds like you guys are doing some of that, which is excellent. So, what about one question before our final question, and that is how can others learn more? How can they get in touch, or how can they contact you, John?
The easiest way is, so our email address is info@innosub.com. I'm on that email all the time. We already have a presence on TikTok, so you can follow us there. Instagram, you can follow us there.
Hmm.
Uh, and we've got our phone number on the website. You can give me a call. So we have various means by which you can contact us, and you're not going to be a number. We will get back to you. You will hear a live voice, and it probably will be me or my son,
Yeah.
who sounds just like me, which is kind of crazy.
All right.
But yeah, it's so we have various means.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. Giving some people different options, and then any special offers you'd like to offer any listeners?
Yes, yes. Thanks for asking that. If so, we're going to create a discount code, whether that's for Abby Rose or InnoSub, if you're interested in building your own business in the sublimation space. And we're going to offer a 10% discount. And all you have to do, and my wife, who's the tech expert, is going to make that this coupon code works for you, and that just type in Abby Rose exclamation mark. So it's ABBYROSE exclamation, and you can get 10% off. Whether that's a custom cell phone case, or again, if you're interested in venturing into your own side gig within OSUB, we're here to fulfill whatever needs or whatever products you're interested in selling out there.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, that's generous of you to give a special offer, and I'm sure hopefully the people on that are viewing will take advantage. So, John, thanks a bunch for joining us and sharing some of the story and obviously details about a couple of different companies. And thank you to the audience for watching. Hopefully, you got some good nuggets out of John, and hopefully, you can apply it to your business. And so, until next time, we wish you guys the best.